Hi friends, it's Christina TnT coming to you today with TnT Talks with 20-minute conversations on how to ignite motivation in your life and business during this COVID-19 crisis. And we'll continue this conversation beyond the COVID-19 crisis too, but today that's what we're facing. And we have Ali Davidson as our special guest today. She is going to tell us all about how she's doing and handling things. So Ali, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone about you and kind of what you've got going on in your professional and personal life.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Christina. This is really fun. I love doing stuff like this. So I am a transformational coach slash principal broker in the state of Oregon slash prior business owner of $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company, the mother of 4 grown kids, and a single woman in her 60s. So there you go. And I come from a big fat Greek family, so you'll see me talking with my hands a lot.
I love it.
And what's going on in my personal life and my professional life? My professional life, it's funny, I was talking to my eldest son, and who also lives in Bend, and I said, "How you doing, honey?" He says, "Are you kidding? This is an introvert's dream." And I have to say, he's right. So my life hasn't really changed a whole lot, because everything I do from the comfort of my own home in my desk chair. My home has shifted. I moved from Oregon to California recently after my mother fell and broke her hip, to come and help her out a little bit. And I had the freedom in my lifestyle to do that. And of course, then COVID-19 hit. And so here I am, and I don't know for how long. She's doing great, by the way. So my life hasn't really changed as far as professionally goes. Now, personally, it's a whole nother mess.
Oh, tell me, what's going on?
Well, this is the world of meeting people online, right? And if you're a single woman, single man, you're doing it through Match or Harmony or one of these sites. But the way that it normally works is, you say hello, they say hello, you chat online for a little bit, you talk on the phone a couple times, and then you meet at Starbucks. Well, guess what? You can't meet at Starbucks. So it's kind of interesting. And frustrating at the same time, because that's, if you want to be in a relationship, and especially for people right now who are living alone, I'm lucky that I actually came here. Otherwise, I had to be in Oregon in my own place, right? And I would be alone, and that would be, after 6 weeks, even an introvert would get tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm lucky that I'm here, and I get to spend my time with my mom and make some memories for us, and that's great. But there's a lot of people out there that are alone, and that's hard on them. And it just puts a crimp in your style as far as meetings. But they got to be really techie savvy, that they know how to do Zoom too. Otherwise, forget it.
I wanted to ask, so are you doing Zoom dates? Do you get on and chit chat?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's just weird, because even online dating, I mean, that's so off the little radar here, but it's so different. It's in my opinion kind of backwards, because first you go out into the world, you're with your friends, so there's context, right? So, and then you see somebody from across the room, you're kind of attracted, they're attracted, so you already know that. And then you get to know each other, and you get to ask your friends, well, who are they, what do they do, and all that. And it's one person, and you pay attention to that one possibility for a while, until you decide, yes, this is the one, or no, right? But in the online world, very different. It's all the information is sitting there online. So you get to read all this stuff and look.
And you have to figure out what's true.
Exactly. Yes. And so you don't know if you're attracted to them, really, because you have no idea if the pictures are real. And so you start with a phone call, and there's no context. There's no outside relationship telling you, yeah, this guy's a good guy, or he's safe, so you really have to learn to trust your instincts, which is basically one of the things that I teach.
Yeah, so you mentioned being a coach.
Yeah.
And what is your niche there? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started coaching back in 1997 in Bend, counseling/coaching. And I would say that over the 6 years that I was doing it full time, a lot of my work was with couples. So a lot to do with relationship. And then I kind of transitioned out of that full time into owning an in-home care agency. And then from that, in and out of real estate over 30 years. When I left Bend and moved to Portland, I got my real estate license again and thought, okay, I'll do this, And then the company that I was with had a coaching division. And so I got involved in that and just loved it and thought, wow, this really combines all my expertise. So I have a lot of expertise when it comes to building a business, and specifically in real estate. I really understand the ins and outs, the problems that realtors have. And then the transformational work. So I get to do both and I love it. So the majority of my clients are realtors, and I help them. What I really help them do is to find balance in their lives. Most of these people are pretty successful, and every now and then I have to reel them in and say, okay, let's get back to basics here. Because, if it's a really good market, it's really easy. When it's a tougher market like right now, you really have to make modifications and get back to the basics of how to maneuver through that and build those relationships with your clients. But a lot of them are working so hard and they're making lots of money, but they don't have the health they want, or they don't have the relationships they want, or because they're just working 70, 80 hours a week. Really easy to do in a business of your own. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know a prominent issue with realtors and a lot of entrepreneurs is they don't know how to manage their money. So you can make a ton of money and spend even more than you're making. Is that something that you assist with too? Good. Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow up all my friends' inboxes with this interview so they can see.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the very first things I do is take them down to the bare necessities, like what do you need to live? And then from there, we figure out how many deals they need to have based on their average sales price in their area. And then from there, what are the things let's say it's, I just need to do 10 deals a year, but you're going to do more than that. So what are you going to do with the extra money? So if we don't allot it, they'll spend it.
Yeah,
so
it just
it's
disappears.
Teaching them to all the different categories, even if you have to have 20 savings accounts, so what?
A lot of people are feeling that right now.
Yeah.
The fact that they've been overspending. They're buying things that weren't necessary, and they're not prepared for something like this.
Right.
And so how are you staying motivated and encouraging your clients to stay motivated? Because I think that's the key thing right now is, like, it's so easy to sit and watch Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
And eat.
Yeah. I know. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll have to do for myself personally. Like I said, most of my work is done from home, so not a lot has changed. But because other people aren't coming into my life and I'm not going out to date or to, to do any of that, I'm using this time as a time to create. Because I find that if I stay in a creative place, whether it is to create a program or I'm in the process of starting a new book that I'm writing, then
or a YouTube channel,
or YouTube channel, exactly right. So one of the things that is a good thing to have in the midst of all this is a new routine, a new structure. Like I actually began a whole new morning routine just to keep myself in some kind of flow, because it's just so easy to, like you said, sit around and do nothing. And it's interesting that you brought up motivation, because I was actually working with a client this morning and we looked up the definition, and motivation is not what gets you to act. It in itself is not what gets you to act. What gets you to act is your desire. So what's shifting right now is people's desires. That's what I'm finding is the biggest thing with pretty much everybody. Is that what they thought they wanted is not what they wanted.
There's definitely a clarity about things now. Everyone came into 2020. It's like clear vision, 2020 vision. This is not what we expected to happen to gain that, but it really helps people narrow in, like, what are your priorities? And
exactly.
Have you noticed what little changes have you noticed with where you were focusing your attention then versus now? And maybe one thing that you were like, actually, I didn't realize that that's not what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Good question.
I didn't prompt you with that one. Sorry.
No,
That
you
one's just
didn't.
out
That's
of
okay. That's all right. I'll think outside of the box here. Well, I really felt coming into 2020, I was like, I was moving down here and I'm like, well, man, I'm going to start a new life down there. Who knows how long I'll be here? Who I'll meet down there? All of that was like this big, high possibility, everything possible. And I had this like really strong intention that I was going to zero in, focus in, build my business, not my business, but specific programs that I want to teach. And then this thing happened and I realized, whoa, I don't have to be in a hurry. I was beating myself up for making this plan and wanted to keeping to my goal because that's what I do. I hold people accountable to their goals. And I started to notice the reverse occur where here I was intentionally focusing on pushing myself and looking at this time as an opportunity to really do that. And instead what happened was my motivation started to go down. I actually had reversed the process. So I sat with that for a little while and I thought, what do I really, 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 really want? And what I realized was that I have a bigger desire to write this book than I thought I did. Something about writing this book is really important to me, and I don't even know yet what it's going to be exactly, but that's what is feeling like. I'm starting a retreat next week, and I can't wait. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, So that was a surprise. I've had a few more clients come into my world that are not in real estate but are in business. Not necessarily for themselves, but working for someone else. And I found that, wow, the skills that I have in helping them is transferable. I thought, oh, it was just this, but I'm finding, no, it's actually a lot of arenas. So that was cool. And my focus to take care of myself better has really come into the play, finding myself for the first time, excuse me, really do want to exercise. And I do want to, I'm working on losing weight and eating better. And so that's a good thing too. Spending a lot more time with myself. I always have done that, but just still a bit different than it was in the past,
Yeah.
So
I want to touch back on something that you said. You mentioned a morning routine. Can you tell us a little bit about how that, because this isn't the first time it's been brought up during these interviews. So I'm seeing some similarities. So tell us.
Yeah. So, most people understand that to build a habit, right, it used to be 23 days, then it turned to 31 days. Now it's like 60 days, which is interesting. Wow. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is attributed to all the stimulation that we have in our lives and all the choices we have. So it takes longer for that whatever action it is to become a habit. When we create habits, what we do is we move things out of the way, right? So that if you think about like when you first learned how to ride a car, everything about it was new. So you were like checking the rearview mirror, checking the side mirror, oh, am I holding my hands, or all of that, because it was new. When you became unconsciously competent and it was just something you didn't think about it. You're putting your lipstick on, you're drinking your coffee, you're talking to somebody on the phone, all the things we shouldn't do, but we are able to do it. And we're still monitoring all those things habitually. Mm-hmm. So a morning routine frees your brain up after you have done certain things in the morning, and you get to decide what those are so that you have a structure, especially at a time when, as an entrepreneur, you don't have a place to go, right? You have to have some kind of definition. And right now, that routine also needs to include a different routine for the weekend, because we don't have weekends right now, right? Every day is Groundhog's Day.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, right? So putting a little structure with the daily routine is, I think, more important now than it's ever been before. And studies show that when people who have a daily routine, like people like Oprah and Deepak Chopra and, all kinds of great people, have started with morning rituals or morning routines that get them going in the morning. So like for me, I go down to the detail. In fact, I'll even show you guys what I did. I actually had to get really strict with myself, and I created this, which you probably can't see the detail of.
No, but I want a copy of it so I can nerd out. I love stuff like that.
It's a checklist that I use every day. I start my day. It's a date, and it's very simple. Let Sadie out. That's my dog. Pray or meditate, stretch, dress and make my bed, grab my coffee. Boom. And then I set my intention for the day. And then I like to pull cards and really ignite my intuition. So there are many ways you can do that, but one of them is just to pull a card or to, ask a question and listen for an answer or whatever. And I do that. And then I journal. And then I don't necessarily exercise every day, but I do some kind of movement. So I get to check that off. I make my plan for the day. Boom, it's done. I put socialize, connect with family. So you can put all that stuff, whatever you want, right? And then it goes into my journal. So that's how I start my day.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Would you be willing to share that I can,
sure.
I can put it up? Okay.
I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, and just invite people to do their own thing and what's important to them, So for some people, working out every day is important. I have a lot of my clients who've never done anything like this that when I first started asking them to do it, said, all right, when you wake up, I want you to pick out a motivational video that you watch, something just that gets your energy going. Do a meditation, whether it's silent or it's guided, just so that you can quiet your mind. And it's really very powerful. And over time, it just becomes a second nature thing that you do, but it gets your brain ready to create. Because I think that's what we do at anything and everything we do. We're creators and we create.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just love your energy. I've
you.
Always adored you. So I'm so glad I get to share you with everyone.
Oh, I think you're a sweetheart too.
So how can everyone follow you and...
Well, the easiest way is to go to my Facebook fan page, my business page, which is Ali Davidson / Ali Davidson Life Academy. It's the picture of me smiling. It's the same picture you have there.
Okay, so and I'll make sure to get the links from you to add.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then I want to offer people who are watching a free session with me. So love to get to know people, find out what it is that they're, what they're struggling with, and give them some tips on what they can do to move forward and become I haven't figured out what the word is yet, whether they're the creator or the player in life. I don't know, something powerful. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
And then I think I gave you this ebook that I wrote. It's called From Desire into Action. And so getting back to motivation and where we are today, right? So people have been programmed and conditioned since they were very little not to want, not to have their desire. They have to do something first before they can have what they want. And so as a result, what I found is over the years, you ask people, what do you want? They go, I don't know. And it's true, they don't, right? So this little book will help guide people through a 7-step process that will help them to get to what do they want. Yeah,
that's awesome. Powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Ali, it's been so much fun chatting with you today. I wish we had more time, so I'm definitely going to make sure that I get everyone over to follow you and take you up on that free offer and get introduced to just themselves. People need to get more in tune with themselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what this whole COVID-19 is about, personally.
Yes, it is definitely. And I hope more people are taking that opportunity versus using this as an excuse. Use this as an opportunity to do things, get uncomfortable, try new things. I never thought I would be interviewing people online and posting it for the whole world to see, but I am actually really enjoying it. I love providing value. And Ali, you have provided a lot of value today. So I thank you again.
You're very welcome. And you are so adorable, and you do such a great job at this too.
Thank you.
Oprah, move over.
Well, everyone, again, this is Christina TnT bringing you 20-minute conversations to help ignite motivation through life and business. And don't forget to subscribe and hit like so that you can continue to see the rest of the videos. Bye.